Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on What If Spider-Man's Uncle Ben Had Lived. Now, it's kind of like an interesting story saying, what if Uncle Ben had lived, and what if he played a more key role in Spider-Man's life? Now, let's get on with the story. It starts off how, at the cemetery, Peter Parker is looking at Uncle Ben's grave and saying, I failed you. If I had done what I should have done, if I had been who I should have been, you'd be alive today. So instead of someone you can be proud to have to carry on your memory, instead someone whose worth and you got is Spider-Man. But it turns out that the person he was talking to was actually Aunt May, and it was Uncle Ben saying, I understand, Peter. Sometimes we have to face our memories. Peter, I know death can never make any sense, but the only thing the living can do is offers to live. And so it's kind of like a what-if tale. So it starts off how we all know what happens. A mugger comes in, Uncle Ben gets shot, and Peter goes in to stop the mugger and defeats him. But in this reality, Aunt May ends up being the one who finds the mugger and ends up dying. And Uncle Ben is shocked, saying, May, what is it? Why is the door... May, what happened? Who did this to you? In the name of heaven, May, no! And so Peter goes out, and Uncle Ben finds this a little bit strange, and also talks with him saying, well, it's in the paper. The burglar was captured by the TV star Spider-Man. How strange. I still think that may well rest a bit easier since the man's caught. And you can tell Uncle Ben finds this a bit strange. So, he's like, funny how May's presence still stays in the house. Well, some of Peter's friends. Come in. Thank you, Mr. Parker. Is Peter home? And so, Flash is like, heck, I know, coming for the pip squeak. What a waste of time. And you can tell that they want to pay their respects. But Uncle Ben berates and tells Flash Thompson to stop Pit, saying, but I keep him at it because there's more to Peter than appears on the surface. And there's lot lesson to you. Flash, you're a football star. Let me give you something to ponder. Football's a great thing, but what below the surface, try peeling one sometimes and find out. I'll tell Peter you stopped by. And you can tell Flash is annoyed by what Uncle Ben said to him. And you can tell that right now Uncle Ben is starting to see everything clearly. Now, given the fact Aunt May never really noticed Peter's behaviour, you can tell Uncle Ben is a bit more smarter as he looks. And so he pretty much the next day tries to have Peter under the cloth where he sees the Spider-Man costume, and you can tell he's saying, we have to talk, Peter. Let's go and sit down. And you can tell that he's not angry, and he just wants to know what happened. And so Peter tells Uncle Ben everything and all that. And you can tell Uncle Ben blames himself, saying, you did nothing. I was in the house. She went downstairs instead of me. I was asleep. That man shot my May, and I slept through it. And you can tell that Uncle Ben does feel bad, but he shrugs it off and knows deep down there was nothing that either of them could have done. And this is actually what I like about Uncle Ben, is that even though he's upset about what happened to May, he's still not going to let it be down, and he's still going to be there for Peter Parker. So with Uncle Ben's help, they take down villains like Sandman, Lizard, Green Goblin, Vulture, Electro, the Big Man. And despite all of Peter's good efforts, Uncle Ben is furious, saying, there is no better than Lieber. He should. Don't worry, next edition is next for retraction. I sold him a bundle of photos. And so with Uncle Ben's help, he decides to go and confront John Jameson. And pretty much Peter and him decide to reveal his identity to John Jameson. Now, this is kind of a bad idea. Because, this is obviously going to cause bigger problems. And if any of the villains knew about it, they would probably try and kill Peter and Uncle Ben. Or better yet, hurt the loved ones. So now he knows, he decides saying, don't pay Bill with the Parkers, I can milk this millions in Quintet. I'll do it. And you can tell right now he's going to take advantage of this. So Spider-Man takes on a group of thugs. And also having Betty feel bad, which, much like in the main Marvel universe, is that her brother got in trouble with crooks. And when like John Jameson is badmouth and Brady Brant, you can tell Peter won't take the crap and leaves in a huff. And Uncle Ben tries to encourage him not to do the wrong things, but Peter goes off and also finds and locates Doc Ock with Blackie Gangston. Now, if you ever watched Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man, do you know who Blackie Gangston is? He's like, you sure know the lawyer, Brant, because I thought lawyers were supposed to have more brains than that. You're a dope, Brant. A dope and a whiner, and I hate that kind of guy. Take him out and shoot him. So, in a way, Spider-Man confronts Doc Ock's team, and Blackie Gangston's like, I show you what Blackie Gangston does to Flinks and Stoolies. So, unlike the main Marvel universe where Peter ends up getting Betty's brother shot, the bullet manages to shuck off, and Spider-Man defeats Doc Ock, where Betty's brother is saved. And Spider-Man feels like that he's done some good, but also has to deal with now that Jameson knows Spider-Man's identity, and even confronts him about it. And Norman Osborn is also there, and tries to buy something from him, but he's like, no, Jameson, there's about to be a number of things you won't be able to help. The Green Goblin will save you to that. So they have, like, John Jameson's son, and also Peter thinking about stuff. You have the Green Goblin saying, well, what a lovely settlement scene. Stop him! He mustn't get Jameson. And so he confronts Jameson, and even brainwashes him, and has him, like, run out, who looks more like a normal version of the Hulk. And Spider-Man decides to go and stop Jameson. Green Goblin. And, Green Goblin is having Jameson going to be mind-controlled. And John Jameson's son bows to Green Goblin. And even John Jameson tries to talk with him, but Spider-Man stops him. But due to a circuit overload, all that caused him to die. And John Jameson, promises that he won't reveal his identity. But you can tell right away he just wants to use his son as a hero, because he doesn't want them to know what happened. Saying, well, he's done it again to you, Peter. I know, Uncle Ben, but John Jameson, he's vulnerable and human as we are. And you can tell that deep down there's that they're not going to let this beat them. And that's the story. So, what do I think? It's kind of like an interesting what if. It's kind of like saying, what if Uncle Ben was in Peter's life instead of Aunt May? Because Uncle Ben would have played a key role, but he would have been a bit more smarter. So, I give the story a good thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Review here, starting out.